as I was saying, so these people are upset about getting this news, and they, not all of them, but they decided that, so they're basically gonna harass this woman for free. Some of them, okay, because they're upset. At least to a degree, maybe they're gonna do it if it's convenient. You know what I'm saying? But it's because, again, this particular leader canceled the program. Now, with all that being said, because it's a little bit, convoluted, let's get into let's just get into it. Okay. This is a little different. I said it on part 1, and so bear with me, because I'm doing some projects. I'm experimenting. Okay. So if it seems like I'm pausing a lot, that's not going with the flow of what I'm talking about. It's not y'all. I'm not tripping. I'm not stuck. Okay. I have other devices going on in the background to record the activity. Okay. So I kind of have the atmosphere really, it's almost like church mouse quiet, because I'm wanting to pick up activity. So I don't have a lot of background stuff going. Okay. And this is just a little different. I'm trying out some things, but we're going to get into it. Don't worry. And if this is your reading, be grounded, be mindful, be practical. You all should know the deal by that, This is certainly not all of the people that have been coming for the collective. This is maybe one of the main groups out of, you may have many. Okay? Okay. So let's get into it. Let's get the energy of the leader that pulled back. It's the leader, and in this case, it may very well be male, because I kept saying he. So the leader who pulled back and decided his, everybody else shit, he can't do nothing, but his shit, okay? You're like, shit. Okay. Let's get the energy there on a collective scale. Whoever you all are, okay, the original air date is, I want to say it's Sunday, the, 24th or 5th of August, 2025. Original air time is going to be combined, because I stopped. It's the internet connection stopped. But right now it's approximately 1:37 p.m. Central Standard Time, Texas, in the United States of America. Of the Americas. But if you're logging in at another date and time, doesn't really matter. Past, present, future. Y'all know how this goes. Because whenever you click on it, it may be something that have already happened by the time you do. It may be in process or possible near future. Okay? Let's see. Boom. Ooh, the seed is going in the reverse. Okay. So what happened? Look, as I was saying on the other video, he done found out the truth. Okay. Again, whoever these women are, like I said, whether this is the collective's family or previous landlords or both, they lied. Now, it's the great irony, because none of them are integral. This is what happens. They lied to him about the collective. They leaned into his ego. They leaned into, his grandiose. They leaned into all of the weaknesses. That's what toxic people do. Okay? They leaned into his maybe radicalness as well, if he's like a radical. They leaned and used that in order to really sell and motivate him to want to do some fucked up shit. He does have another profession outside of his front profession. His wife knows about the front profession. She don't know about the other shit. Okay? And she possibly don't know that he may have slept with one of them. But with deceit coming out in the reverse, he's upset, not so much because he's all of a sudden got the light bulb, oh, how this was so immoral. I don't think it's to that magnitude. I think he feels like he was tricked. That motivated him in the first place. Like he feels like, okay, I was willing to do stuff because I believed, not that I'm right even then, okay, but because I believe that this person was a bad person. I believe that they were, a scam artist. I believe that they were shysty, scammy, shady, even though I am. We're not gonna get into that out on this video. I believed that, something happened to, because some of them may have had some kind of vengeance because, remember, they scapegoat the target for everything. This is how these people, these groups really get folks riled up to do stuff that they regret maybe years down the road. Okay? So basically they scapegoat and blame the target for stuff that the target has nothing to do with. It's more to do with either these people's personal life choices and decisions. In some cases, direct correlation to rolling with the devil. In the blue dress, nigga, devil in the blue dress. I got deceit here in the reverse and the sun in the upright, baby. He saw the truth. He saw the truth in the situation, and it ticked him off because I think, as I said on the other video, it was too many casualties, too much shit. And someone adding up, they kept scapegoating the target. They kept scapegoating the target. And it's like, wait, the fuck, wait, something's off. Because it riled them up, saying nothing like going for an obsessed radical. See, this is why I'm telling y'all how this shit works. They lean into this because it's going to blind you. It's going to initially blind you of proper judgment. This person could have possibly came as an evangelist. Because they gonna shape shift. I promise you that. They gonna shape shift according to the cause. And if they've already scanned the individual that they're trying to get to be an investor, they're gonna roll with that, whether it's and since the collective, you all, chances are you may be similar to myself, living out loud, not afraid. Okay, not afraid to be your flawed self, but your authentic self, and giving yourself space to explore, and you're not restricting yourself to the dogmas that the world wants to continue to restrict themselves to. Okay? So this man, I believe, as I said before, after too many unfortunate events, contingency plans going, okay, we didn't have a contingency plan for all of this, okay? Some of our footmen, too many of shit is happening to the footmen, and then now it's affecting me now. And it's too many things, and now I'm concerned. Something's not right. And I believe they started paying attention from a different angle, but only after maybe seeing some things and getting curious. These people have been watching you anyway. And I think a part of all of that is happening to come out to face the truth. Because they, you were supposed to be all kind of toxic and all kind of crazy. all kind of mentally ill. They probably found out you're sharper than the motherfucker that they shook hands with. Like, this shit is smarter than you, bitch, nigga. She ain't lying. Because see, what happens when people are forced after so many events, it's like, okay, they sit and have to face like, well, if they're watching you, then they're like, well, but she ain't lying. Now, we crazy and we doing what we doing, but she ain't lying. So, at least not about this. So, is she really crazy? Because we are stalking her. So, what have you been doing since for this? Because you way over here. And that's what we're doing. So, was she lying? Was she lying about their family and exes and so forth, stalking her? Because nigga, we is, nigga. So how long has this been going on? This person did what they had to do, trying to escape loony bins. Trying to move their life on to the calmer waters, and here are ravenous asses, thirsty and shit. Yep, there he is. The man holding the coin. Third chakra, solar plex, 37, 5, 6, 7, 7, 7. Yeah, he put it to an end. He started seeing something. He could even be getting sick. Or realizing like too many people might be getting sick. Or he was able to identify why it seemed like shit, you know, who was who. You know, solar plex is about identity. It's about strength, identity, personal power, chi, life force energy. Okay, we have hostilities coming in reverse. That's why he decided, yeah. Strategy reverse, yeah. It's a Yep, walk away. I told you, y'all can't see in the upright. So he started, now it's a woman on this depiction. So I think he really started to see the truth about why, if you're a feminine here, why you walked away. How you walked away. Okay, she's got on like pink, and then there's like a lot of gold around her head and stuff like that, and then there's like this little bird, white bird, because you're intuitive and discerning and insightful. Okay, and you saw through what people have been doing to you. Simple as that. 27 breaking down to a 9. Wounded warrior. What people have been doing to attack you. What people have been doing to try to stress you out and take you through constant changes for their own reasons. Okay? Yep, yin and yang and cornucopia that you were just trying to find. You were just trying to find your own happiness and balance. He could have also even saw you balance some things out and empower yourself. And could have realized that the real agenda really had nothing to do with what they were pushing. That's just what they used. It was really because folks didn't like the fact that you knew how to do that. That you stood in your power, that you knew how to alchemize, that you knew how to assert yourself, and that you know who you are. And you ain't looking for no handshakes, nigga. You ain't looking for nobody. You don't care if you got $2 and a plastic wig. If somebody talk crazy to you, that's a problem. And you can do it with elegance and je ne sais quoi. Okay, because you know who you are. You're like, we ain't doing that, nigga. We ain't doing that, nigga. We ain't doing that. We ain't doing that. Yeah. He's also concerned about his identity, his image, his happiness, and with his wife. He had to think of that. And here's the spell word, magician and the mirror. They could have projected, with this particular person, I promise you, they projected their very behavior onto the target, saying that the target was the one doing baneful rituals. The target was the one why stuff was happening to them or their family. The target was, all this worshiping of the devil. That's what they do. They're the one that, yeah, that's what they do. They conjure entities. Mm-hmm. But see, when people are two-dimensional and somebody's standing in front of you with a nice little pleated skirt, buttoned up shirt, a huge ass cross around their neck, talking about, bless the Lord. They're going to be, when you're surface and you just don't have no knowledge, they're the last ones to suspect in a scenario. That's why I've been telling and saying this for years. A whole lot of folks out here don't even know that some of these very people, now I'm not saying they are all this way. So if you're somebody out there, I was a Christian and I wasn't doing this. So I understand that there are some people out there that's in a certain religion and you're not in the know of it going on and you're not active and practicing and doing anything weird. So I'm not implying that they are all, but the point that I'm making is it's there and it's many and it's more than people ever could have imagined. Because that's the uniform. When people are up, see, here's the thing. When people are up to shenanigans, they cannot reveal their identity. They can't reveal that. They can't reveal, they think about it. They have to go on the other end of it to misdirect. Usually. It's a combination effect. They get their insatiable, insidious, sick needs and desires and wants met off of the blood of the innocent, on top of getting a bunch of simpletons and people who, to get on their rally team. Mm-hmm. To pile on to what was already being done to the target. Mm-hmm. And do not care two flying fucks that everybody that they recruit, hire, or look to have a partnership with is equally going to be dealt with. They know it. Some of these people got a death wish. They know it. They know it ain't no turning back for their life. They in this. They bound to them things. They bound to them things. They in this. They in this. So, because they ain't no coming out for them. So, so they ain't sitting up there thinking about no morals and shit. They're not thinking, I really don't want to trick the guy into partnership. Right. You're talking about doing something, criminal federal offense, and you thought they were going to have, okay. Thought they were going to have some what? Care for you. Some regard. They're already showing you they do not have care. They do not have regard. Door to spirit. He must have been shit. He must have been praying. Ooh, child. It's a challenge here. It's chaos. 32 breaking down to a 5. Yep, this was sick. Patience in the reverse. Oh, somebody that passed on. It's a possibility. Now, this is going to be for a select few. If somebody passed on. Oh, I wonder if that person ended up having a dream or something to do with that person. Like a message like, this is wrong. The person who did this is the hoe that you're shaking hands with. That's the one. That's the reason. You made it, whether this was because you made some deals with her to do wrong things to an innocent person, or she a black widow. Like this is why this is happening. You want to know who the crazy person is? The crazy one is who you're in a partnership with doing community organized gang stalking. And it should have been clear in the statement, but apparently not, so I'm coming in a dream. Now, or if it wasn't him, it could have been the wife, because I do have woman holding a coin. Maybe the wife is getting sick, or maybe he got a message that the wife may get sick, or something like that, because I have the woman holding a coin. Possibilities. Or something about options, about maybe that's where some truth and clarity came about you, collective. Like, you're innocent. You did what you had to do. Like, there was too many. You're not what people are trying to make it seem like you are. People have issues that they hide behind their briefcases and Bibles. Yeah, root chakra here. What were you supposed to do? That's survival energy. That's Abraham Maslow's hierarchy needs. That is the first brick, basic needs, and survival. You can't get past that. In order to be able to grow as a person, in order to be able to develop, in order to be able to stabilize, you're not getting from the first chakra. You're not getting from the first block on that pyramid. And if you got people that's constantly trying to affect that, then whatever's coming has nothing to do with you. Financial constraints. Yeah. Door to romance, reverse. Door to personal healing. Okay. Let me hurry up. Again, if I pause as you get on this video, at some juncture and I'm pausing, I'm scanning the environment. I got other stuff going. I'm doing some projects. I'm doing some testing. Got some devices going. Different areas here. But that's why I made the whole place like quiet. I'm like, shh. So that all the different things that starts to happen typically will get picked up. Usually. Because a lot usually happens when I go live. It just depends. And, you know. Give me the energy of this masculine leader that pulled back. Gossip, petty, jealousy, envy. Intervention, rescue, others involved. He may have been petty himself, but again, I believe that is starting to see that these people, even though it fell on door to spirit, like people try to act like that, they come off, but the truth is they're just petty, jealous, envious people that dug a hole for you. It says intervention, rescue, others involved. Yeah. Wow. Yep, I told you. Where is that? I just saw it. Realization in the upright. Again, that's exposure. We have the sun. I told you. I'm not trying to say this man, this is not a reading about trying to say he turned over a leaf. It's really more about seeing something clearly in terms of the people he partnered with and what the real deal was, as well as what the actual truth is about the target versus the stories they were told. Yep, Verge. Okay, it says Verge, about to reveal, confess, crossing. He could, he knows that these people are going to be very petty. Remember, I said these people could have even threatened him. Okay? Because I have Verge, about to reveal, confess. Cleansing is in the reverse. Yes, this negativity. And then pop up in the reverse. This is what he did. Remember, I said he called his, this ain't all the operations, but his. He said this was pop up in reverse, spontaneous, unexpected, surprise visit. Drastic, extreme, harsh cutoff. Yep. Yeah. He realized that it's a couple of things. In terms of the collective, he realized that this person, these targeted individuals have been really, it's true. When they say, that's why it pays to listen to people. People are so condescending and presumptuous. It pays to believe people. You got to put your own personal shit aside. Like, everybody ain't out here. If they tell you, they saying nigga, the people stalking me, they crazy. And I am leading and I'm starting over my life because I'm trying to get my bearings and get away from this mess. Yeah, people was chasing you. Look at Bounty Hunter right at the bottom. Chasing. Exactly. These people could have been very harsh. That some people were being like this because you had to cut them off and decided they wanted to chase you and wanted to hunt you down with negativity. So he decides, because we're talking about what he, what gets him here, because he cuts off his side of the operation. He says, no, it's a lot of pettiness, jealousy, and envy here. You guys are fake. You guys are possibly jealous that this person of her giftings or something. You're up here talking about bless the Lord and shit, but you up here, recruiting motherfuckers. Getting to them. Recruiting motherfuckers to do toxic shit, but you want to sit up here and talk about how godly you are and about Bible and all this shit. Sitting here running your mouth, gossiping. Forget you done hired motherfuckers to commit federal crime. But you want to talk about Jesus. You sit here doing shit to a disabled motherfucker, but you want to talk about you're a fucking teacher, you're a fucking guru, you're a fucking leader. Bitch, please. Yeah, bounty hunter. Yeah, commitment in the reverse. Legal court paperwork file reverse. Yeah, he can see like this person goes to your lovers and start, dealing with them. And, this thing just is twisted in all kinds of knots. Like this person got crazy siblings, crazy lovers, and crazy landlords. Tragedy, yeah. He's decided to cut this off. The support, yeah. Moving physical location change. He also, again, realized like these people didn't help. Like whatever they tried to act like, these people didn't care about the target or the target's children. How you gonna say, how? That's not even adding up. Some of these people gonna come out of that narcissistic, when they come out them spells, when they come out that haze, it take a while. It's gonna take a while. He cut off the support, okay? Let's keep it pushing. Child, he cut off the supporting port. That was his decision, and that's what we're talking about here. Again, he's worried about his house. He's worried about his wife, possibly as well. He's worried about this gossip, this, I think these women, whoever this is, when they said some stuff to make sure to try to keep him in his place. The Oracle. Yeah, he may even realize like these people are jealous that maybe he could have been initially, that could have been a part of it, but then he just, kind of started realizing like that's really what this is. We talk about God here, adore the spirit. We do We gossiping, we mocking, but we the toxic motherfuckers. Other people mind their business. We the ones sitting here looking cross-eyed, investing all our time, money, energy, and resources instead of healing our brains, our children, investing in some healthier shit. We want to get rich quick scheme, but we can't see our behavior. We saved. And we want to sit here and mock because we don't want to look. We don't want to look at ourselves. That's the real goddamn truth. We didn't hire people to commit federal crime. In the name of the Lord. But that ain't delusion. Without no facts, without nothing, just on our ignorance that was used against us. On our prejudices. Yeah, talking about you was crazy and shit. Who crazy now, nigga? Yeah. Podcast. Yeah, these people, yeah, they jealous. They all, these whole people been watching, y'all. This is what this is. A bunch of petty, jealous, envious, good for nothings. Yeah, get fucked. Yeah. He realized that you could care less. You spoke the truth. Triggered is in the reverse. You don't care. He could also realize, like, people got mad because maybe you don't care. Like this, you know, when you're the energy of just being yourself, like you don't let yourself get too caught up, which helps you to be a free person. You know, it helps you because you're not overly people pleasing and you're not shape shifting per group. So I go over here and today I'm a Christian. I go over there today, I'm Jehovah's Witness. I go over here today, you know what I'm saying, I'm a Muslim. I go over here today, I'm a Presbyterian. I go over here today, I'm Kojic. I go over here today, I'm a Catholic. I go over here, over this group, then I'm that. If I go over here, I'm a spiritualist. If I go over here with this person, I'm that. Yeah. He's done with this. He doesn't want this. This particular leader is done. Hero in the reverse, verge, about to reveal, confess. Patience in the reverse. He realized this is crazy. This is off. I do not want to be doing this. Trying to put this person in a square box, a black square, trying to use. There's the call off right there. Clarify. Yeah, the red flag. I knew that was going to come out because I'm like, what's. Okay. Yep. He told them to stop trolling this influencer. I told you he closed His side down, I have Pharaoh in the reverse, Troll reverse, Influencer in the upright. So his side of it, he closed down like, this is enough. Stop trolling this influencer. So we already know it's social media as well as on foot. Stop, speaking negatively. Again, these people done built shit. That's how you know. Let me get off that again. People, yet another harvesting and siphoning tactic. They ain't got shit. They didn't become relevant till you hit the scene. Let's just ask this. What were they doing before? Nothing is the answer. Yeah, you're an empath. He can see, it says here empath. Archangel Michael, that's a protective energy too. Extreme harsh cutoff, and then financial support, empath. Oracle. He was like, where's the empathy? And this person is sensitive. We know we on bullshit. We're done. We're going to stop trying to trigger the collective. We're not supporting. Yeah, shadow. These are shadow people. We're not supporting this hanging in the shadows, trying to trigger her wounds, her traumas for support. This is sicko. This is a sicko shit, and we need to go take our Bibles to the Christian bookstore. Anyway, I'm not saying that he said that. Shit, nigga. We need to just take all our shit, take the footprints down, the Lord's Prayer, the Lord's Supper, the fucking the Beatitudes. They just need to, everybody need to take all their shit off. Take it off the walls, take it off their cars, take it off, go put it back. It's very nice. Take it back. Their crosses, their Bibles, and highlighters. And their concordances. Yeah, it's a cult leader. He's like, he discovered that the real cult, because again, they could have been trying to say that the targeted population is a cult, a person that's the cult leader. And y'all ain't even rolling like that. You ain't recruiting motherfuckers. You gotta know what that kind of stuff really means and is about so that you can really gauge it. He decided to be cutting off this cult leader. Cutting off financial support to this cult leader. Yeah, trauma bond. Now, he could have got a trauma bond. Again, I haven't got to the tarot and some of my other interesting decks here just yet. But in some cases, this man could have had an affair. I mean, y'all, it's life. Now, if this doesn't apply, it doesn't apply, okay? If he didn't, he didn't. But there are some in the collective read that very well, because that's leverage. Understand, the reason why a lot of these energies be trying to, like seduce them in that way, even if they're not really attracted, but it's because it's a cementing spell. And you will have them more docile and pliable. in your hands if you can employ that. So you don't really have to. Sex magic is one of the most potent forms. Okay? And if the individual happens to have like an incubus, succubus, Jezebel, and some other shit on their ass, that shit is gonna come all up on your get up, partner. I bet you know what I'm talking about now. Because we got trauma bond. So he's realizing like this person's trauma bonds, like this is how cults operate, and that's how he got it. You know, that's how his involvement. He may have done his own research. Who knows? Like, you know, when people become troubled and about things and concerned, and they're intelligent, he could have decided like, let me look into that. Or maybe he has a background, you know, or he just forgot, because the thing about getting trauma bond, if you don't know what's happening. So if he did sleep with one of these women, he realized like that's how they get money. And they go around trauma bonding people, you know. Yep, shadow. It keeps coming up, shadow. Like these people appeal to folks' ego. They appeal to what I said, people's ego, people's dark side, people's extremes, you know, all those things. And that this person also had a shadow, like they were dark. Like he didn't know. I'm telling you right now, he know now though. You know now. It says tinfoil hat. You know now. Podcast. Co-leader. Yeah, they tried to push this on y'all. Like you all were dumb. You were crazy. You were a cult leader. We need to cut them off. We need to put them on a watch list. That's what they did. Claiming that's, you know, even though that's still illegal, by the way. See, all of that was supposed to point people to they were already going in the wrong direction. Because there's still protocols. Yeah, they're kind of blah, 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 blah. Why is podcast here? These people could have had their own, you know, could have funded the Cult Leaders podcast to talk shit about you. One day people gonna catch up to you. One day. It's gonna take most maybe to their last day. Yeah, self-care. Maybe these people tried to go get them some kind of some fucking off of you. Some kind of self-care podcast and shiznit. But they're a vampire. Yeah, they're vamping off of you. Even while you're doing your podcast, there's possibly some interesting energies today that's throwing a whole lot of energies off. I do have a lot of things in silence going in the background. I'm doing a science project, testing some theories. I got some recordings going, then I got something else going, but you can't hear anything. Yeah, a so-called fashion witch. So this could have been a so-called self-help fashion witch that they were getting tips and ideas from you. And he invested in their shit. And possibly how they even got him to do that, again, is if they had an affair, they could have seduced and had an affair, and, you know, it could have been a secret affair, and then, you know, for, yep. However, he now sees the red flags. Gaslighting in the reverse, red flag, fashion witch, reverse, vampire. He may even see collective. Like I said, it's not that he's suddenly all upstanding, but just from a technical standpoint, he may simply see that you're just simply trying to take care of yourself. And people, as humans typically do, always got a whole lot of fucking opinions when they need to worry about their own fucking shit. Okay. Boom. Let's keep it pushing. He cut it off. He cut it off. He cut that financial support off. It's game over for him. Troll in the reverse. He's not investing in the program to keep trolling the collective online or on foot. That's how this go. You know, when you got people that's following you and obsessed, and they got any kind of position of power, money, resources, title, you know, they hoover about your life. They hoover around the globe. And they infiltrate the weakness of whatever town, like gangrene. Like a cancer. Looking for the weakness of a town, looking for the weaknesses of a leadership, looking for people's weaknesses for their cause. To recruit an army that they're going to throw under the bus when it's time, but to recruit an army for their cause. That's how this works. They look for places that's going to be easily manipulated. They look for people and places. And I don't mean that to be crass and disrespectful, but if you want to think like a criminal and people who are, it would make sense to you. It makes sense that they do that. So they're gonna target somebody to do some bullshit that's a critical thinker and an individual. They're gonna recruit that kind of person? No. Yeah, a message. Yeah, he sent the message. Message is coming out. Yep, unexpected income in the reverse. He said, he put the middle finger up. Unexpected income reverse. Maybe he also, you know, people was affecting the targeted population's money with this gossip, jealousy, so-called God calls or whatever. That wasn't the way to go. Yeah, here's wealthy man. There it is, 13, wealthy man. He put something to an end. Patience in the reverse, Verge, and for real, Beryl, I'm sorry, Beryl in reverse. Concern, yeah, Woman holding coin, negativity, troll, reverse, influencer. Lovers, interesting, okay. 15, that's distant horizons, community, message of concern, journey, change, thief, wealthy man. Yep. He got a message of concern, like that they need to stop this. Stop stealing. Stop trying to affect somebody's journey, this community, these plans. Because gift in the reverse. Yep. You retracted it. They don't want it. Adjudication is in reverse. This belongs to somebody else, because these people were offered shit. This man was offered something as well to partner. He invested, but he was offered. Yeah, he knows that they're going to get, that this was unfair and unjust, and it's going to be a problem. Adjudication in reverse. Gift in the reverse. It's like, so he cuts it off. Yeah, privileged lady in reverse. He cut off these hoes. Carnage. False person. Boom, nigga. I told you. Now, I don't care whoever this particular man is. He now know it was flipped, okay? When you're overcome by your own ego, your own programming, your beliefs, on top of getting trauma bonded by the hussies. Yeah, he now understand. Oh no, false person, upright, privileged lady, reverse, nigga. They use courtship, the despair. Nigga. Yeah, and the child, like, this is sick shit. Child reverse. Sick. Sickos. But yet people still, got their Bibles up. That's all it took for me in some cases. In some situations, that's why I'm got this big ass smirk on my face, like, okay. That's what Jesus said when he was in prayer for an hour. Yeah, because you're talking to that Arconian, huh? You just don't know that's what you're dealing with anyway. Because, what benevolence? Gonna tell somebody nickel. To create a federal crime on somebody's human and civil rights in the name of being a soldier in the army of the law. Most of these motherfuckers is hiding and lying, hiding behind themselves. That's their own cover up so that they can feel justified. Yeah, high honor. He's like, no, leave us alone. I'm going to do the honorable thing. Leave us alone. Leave us alone. I'm going to go ahead and do the honorable thing. This person is actually held in high honor. Now, we don't like it. They're innocent. You know what I'm saying? We feel some kind of way, but for all intensive purposes, They ain't guilty of what we talking about, what the fuck they guilty of. Yeah. So he could have told them or sent these people the message like, this is it. Adjudication in the reverse. Sudden wealth reverse. This is over. House, we don't want the insurance. We don't want her hands. This belongs to this person. Is you think you on fire now? You really gonna be on fire. You think you on fire? You ain't felt it yet. Not yet. Not yet. Yeah, he said nah. So he told the sibling, if it's the sibling and whoever these partners, because the lovers is about partners. 15, their obsessions here. Stop trolling. That's what he told them. Not that they listen, but okay. Let's go ahead and get some. I'm gonna get some tarot, and then we're gonna see. I'm gonna separate asking like the question about if the groups that maybe did sleep with one of them. Let's do that. Let's get that out the way. Let's just get it out the way real quick. Because I do believe in some cases it happened. Like that's a part of how it even grew and morphed into a partnership. This whole, they sleep with these men that think they have power so that they can have influence over them. That's what Jezebel does, by the way. But anyway, to have influence over them to, because that's what this was. They had to seduce the man. They wanted to utilize his resources and power. That's the very thing some of these Bible pushers missed. They missed that sermon. Because that is what that energy does, even if it's a man. That's what it does. It brings you in for a nefarious cause to target somebody. It takes your manhood, turns you into a notch. And there you go, losing all sense of your capacities. Doing favors. Using your connects to do favors. That's what that thing does. Okay. All right. Did you sleep with any of, one of these women, whether it's the family member of the collective or a previous landlord? Let's get a clear, show me what happened in that respect. Where this applies, the group that it may apply to. I know it don't apply to everybody, y'all chill. Yep, I thought the devil came out. That's a clear yes. A clear yes. And a page of swords. Yep. The page of swords and the devil. Yep. Yes, they did. But some of them came at him like they're an activist. Like they're an activist. And that they, that's, yeah. They're of the light. Truth and light. The sun here could be a Leo. He could have had an affair with a Leo. Possibly. He could be a Leo, or one of the women could be a Leo or a fire sign. And then we have the devil here, Capricorn. And then we have Page of Swords. Magician, yep. This was a strategy. So they watched him. This is how this should go. They watched him to determine how they would be able to manipulate him and put spells on him. And it's through sex. It says the dancer here. We got Page of Wands, and she's, you know, so they started sexting and sending messages. Page of Wands, she's sitting on a chair with some shit on, maybe trying to act, you know, showing like she's sucking a penis or something. And Nine of Cups, and he had him some fun with that. Then that's how it began. And that's how they got him to do this in secret and give them money. And that's where the confusion's. Oh shit. So for some of you, he sure did. But it was in secret. It was in hermit. It's not like they, you know, because he's a married, whoever this is, they married. Okay. This could have even happened around, let's see, Page of Swords, Death in reverse, Scorpio. This could have happened through some kind of a loss or a situation, something like that. Then I got the Knight of Wands. That's definitely, yeah, good time, Charlie, good time, Sally. They kept stalking him too, or messaging him. With stuff. Yeah. Yeah. Nine of Swords. Yeah, this is how they got him to get involved with this attacks, to keep going. So it was like they were using all this cutesy stuff, this sex, and they used all of that. This is how they got power and control over him. I'm not making excuses, but this is when we're not, you see what I'm saying? That's how they convinced him to continue to Nine of Swords, cruelty, this cruel behavior, to continue to advocate on their behalf, to continue, you know, that's how they even convinced him. They were sexting him, and, you know, even could have been doing shit like, you know, it's their fault that your so-and-so is dead, and, you know, they would still be here. Like, that's what them things that be on these floozies and on these niggas, that's what these things do. That's how they roll. See, if y'all want to know how they operate in real time, outside of the movies and outside of the shit we're hearing in churches and all this kind of stuff, if you want to know, it ain't about wearing red lipstick and nail polish. It ain't about what they're professing as their religion, because these motherfuckers profess Christianity. Yep. This is how they convinced him. This is how they got him to, they did a binding and domination spell over him. This is how they were able to confuse him. And this is how they were able to convince him to bring war to the collective. He can see this now, though. Two of Swords in the reverse. Yeah, he can see it now. That this is how they got him to influence his judgment and to be judgy and critical of the collective. Yep, that's how they did it. It was through sex, and through that, then they influenced him to, yep, 3 of Swords. They also exploited his own pain and his sorrow. Because listen, even if they're behind it, this is something else that they're going to use. Y'all got to watch these movies called Dark Shadow. It's some other movies. It's a supreme example of how these motherfuckers operate. To everybody else in that town, that hoe had them all convinced. She had them all convinced that she was innocent and that she was of the light, and that the ones that were actually innocent was what she was. She was crazy as hell. All behind this vampire dude. She was crazy. Yeah, 3 of Swords, yeah. So they pushed, yeah, they confused them. Ace of Swords, they confused them about what happened. In the reverse, Hanged Man. They lied. They lied about sacrificing, because this motherfucker black. These motherfuckers black widows, some of these motherfuckers. That's how they built their career. Their other career, not the face one. Not the one that the public see. This is what they do. They go around towns making deals, getting people sick, getting insurance policies, inheritances, and getting people together to torch the fuck out of these motherfuckers in secret. And when they go to jail or die or whatever ends up happening, you know, get power of attorney. Like, this is whole little career and shit. They got anger problems, Knight of Swords. And this is how they kept him angry and got him riled up. This is what they do. You know, this is happening. This is because of them. No full well, ho. No full well. King of Swords. He might be an air sign. Doesn't have to be, but I have a King of Swords, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. Again, he doesn't have to necessarily be air element. That's just this particular card, but it says the hacker. So he could have been watching and judging. And they could have been twisting things, because again, if you got to look at it like this in real time, the target is being assaulted and harassed on every end. It's all sorts of injustices and violations that nobody seems to get. Everybody has an opinion, but no real, people don't be forthcoming about the fact that they have issues with them, or that they're sitting up there, you know what I'm saying, looking at them on their social media. They don't have the balls or the wherewithal So they are going to be saying a whole lot of shit, rightfully so, correctly so, as anybody in this universe would if it was their life being lit on fire by a bunch of emotional and intellectual degenerates for no reason while trying to do your own life. So, but this is what they exploit. See, look what they saying online. Look what they're doing. Yeah. They ain't telling the nigga that they got shrines and shit. They ain't telling them. They got a whole shrine of the collective because their obsessions and shit weird. Yeah. They obscured his judgment, okay? The hacker. But what I find fascinating is the very thing that they used against him and coerced him via sex and all this stuff in the end of this particular situation is the thing that bit them all, because he's ended up using that very same intelligence. I don't know how he did it, because he's trauma bonded, so I'm not really sure how he is able to, because it does stuff to your brain. It's not just about a close bond. It affects you. So I don't know how he got out of it. Okay. King of Swords. So Four of Wands reverse. 10 of Wands burdened. He became burdened. Yeah, so what happened is he became burdened through this affair. Four of Wands in the reverse, completion. 10 of Wands. He became burdened by this in some way. The loss of his or her family, on top of whatever upheaval, whatever little connection he's had with this person has become burdensome. Yeah. I think all of it became burdensome, this whole partnership to this man. It's become burdensome. And then with the Seven of Swords in the reverse, it's like whatever's been happening, it's been taking too long. Shit is getting exposed. It's just too much. And his family, you know, 10 of Cups in the reverse. You know, everything he built, paying this person attention, trying to finance them, trying to, yeah, it's too much. Yeah, it drained him. Strength is in the reverse. This is how he gave his power away. Yeah. It drained him. 8 of Pentacles in the reverse. He's seeing how this has been draining his finances. He's seeing possibly how this individual, like, they really don't want to work. Like, their work is really more so this criminal enterprise. He also could have saw like this just was not working. King of Cups in the reverse. Goodness. And Empress in the upright. This could be the man that they sent in to the Empress, because I got the King of Cups in the reverse and then the Empress. So he could have started looking at a Leo. He could have started looking at whoever this King of Cups reverse, and then Empress here, and even possibly feminine's mother. Or mother figure if this is a sibling. This may even be her father as well, but this is how they break the man down. That's how they, you know, they basically siphon, much like Jezebel, Ahab story shit. They gone. They just, you know, just a shell of a man. His capacity's gone, bitch. Or unless this person gets sick. Or it could have been breaking his heart. That could be a sign like that. He started studying. I just went back to that card, King of Swords. He's looking at the computer. All of this, how it became so burdensome, led him to do his own investigations in the other direction. Yep. Like I said, the very thing they used against him to get power and control over him and to take him down, to get him to be the front, the face, the rally, the investor, is the thing that's bit them in the ass in the end. Because I don't know how he did it though. Like, how did he come out of that? How did he do it? Let's see. Yep. And there's a sibling. Lovers in the reverse. Gemini, Hanged Man. Piscean energy, Taurus. Libra. He started looking at people's, he could have met people. If not, he just started watching them on the computer. If he didn't meet them, he started investigating them himself. This could be how he discovered, like, maybe that there was a trails of blood behind some people too, just so happened. Common denominator here. Yep, and there she is, Queen of Wands in the reverse. Yep. Partnerships. This is how they got this man involved with sending lovers, working with other people to send lovers. Like, this is how this went. In order to cause you to be sick or your child, to emotionally manipulate and abuse you, because that's what a King of Cups reverse is. To try to get you sick or to break down your defenses, and then you know, ghost you or break up with you. Yep. Ooh. He discovered something about the bindings, dominion spells, you know, people telling people to block. Yeah. Yeah. And a Queen of Pentacles. So it could be a mother and a daughter. To fuck with your choices. This is what they got him involved with. Instability. To keep you in a cycle of instability affecting your foundation. Four of Wands reverse. To keep you dysregulated. To try to get you homeless or incapacitated. To make you have to keep walking away from things or people, to keep walking away from you, so that you basically would have to continue to start over, and that would only fashion the stories that they want, but it also keep you from stabilizing, because you cannot build if you're having to constantly go, and they know that. He sees now that all of these people are actually emotionally immature and don't have a sense of purpose and direction truly. And when you walk away realizing, because it's being clear here that you at some point through this journey realize, even if you don't have all the facts, hardcore facts and answers in front of you right away, you start to gain an understanding that these people are on some bullshit, that they're intentionally being cruel to you, that they won't stop stalking you and following you around, trying to so-called break your spirit, trying to, you know, see if they can contaminate you in some kind of way. Using their family members and friends, their siblings, twins, lovers, partners. And once you see that, you gone with your get up. And he could be coming to that understanding like, I see it clearly as I've sat back and investigated everybody. Boom. Because now, when you hire somebody to stalk, then you should have known that they have those same skills to look at your dumb, skanky ass. Ooh, shit. That's some cold shit in this reading. You hire somebody that's a mastermind. You hire somebody that's got money and resources and technology for your cause. And you didn't think they would know how to access that to follow your trollopy ass? Well, this is, I wonder what led him there. Oh, Ace of Wands in the reverse. I think, yeah, maybe he had a moment of clarity, investigated, realized some of these ladies were sluts, which they try to claim you were, right? That you're a prostitute. They can keep their legs closed if Jesus paid them. Yeah, they hit it. You know, but yeah, secret lovers fucking around, and you know, with this moon energy. And then again, in this depiction is like a black hand and a white hand. So this could be, you know, where he's one culture and they're another. He could also find out about one of their other past lovers and shit, which helped him. And then, Three of Swords, yeah. To take from people. Six of Pentacles to take. Yeah, paying people to do that in order to take something. And to do this while somebody is at their worst. And to use it, you know, that's a part of what this whole scheme and elaboration has been. It should have been in the writing on the wall. Like, that's sick. The writing's on the wall. No decent human, Christian or otherwise, is supposed to be employing and rallying to kick a mother and a son, or a father and his son and daughter, disable people to take advantage. That's a clear indication the real devil is your partners. Ain't nobody doing that. It's some sadistic shit. While people are down on their luck and having a hard time. And then getting your rocks off. You're a retarded motherfucker. They should cut your ass open and study you. Hang you upside down by your ankles. Say, what's wrong with this motherfucker? Let's look at their brain shit. We worrying about target population. Let's cut this motherfucker open. The monster was in the room. The room we had our meeting in. Yeah, hermit. Yeah, to break your heart while you're in isolation. You're a sage, the hermit. While you're trying to go in and reflect and heal and all alone. Like nobody, no self-respecting, self-honoring, benevolent being for no cause and nobody is doing that. It's something wrong with everyone who participates in such, and I will not retract that statement. For their own selfish gains and wish fulfillment and taking pleasure out of it. That's the definition of something wrong with all these motherfuckers. Lazy, selfish, immature motherfuckers. Page of Wands, Nine of Cups. A bunch of immature, manipulative cunts that don't want to work legitimately or decently, or don't, it's, you know, they're entitled, it's taken too long, whatever the fuck. Yeah. Because you're intelligent. He had to hide this from his wife. I have a Queen of Swords here. This could be his wife. A part of it he had to keep from her. But he can also see something clearly here. This could be what led him to the part of cutting this off. Hanged Man, this is where he sees something from another perspective, okay? But this affair and having sex, this is how they got him. To see it their way, to see that, think that you were crazy and that you had mental health issues. Mm-hmm. Because that's what they did. You had mental health issues. You were crazy. That ain't nobody, yeah. But then later, get him involved in some shit. You see that? Huh. Anywho, let's wrap her up. Time and got by my ass again. But it's a different vibe. Just whatever going on. I'm interested to see. Because it's different. I'm watching patterns. It's different. I did something totally different with these two lives. And it's a different effect on the algorithm, or it's something different. I wonder why. I wonder why. Okay. So let's wrap her up. Let's get to the part that matters here. So it's a mess. This leader is done. He's called it off. He sees some stuff. Okay. He's counting up the cost. He's got truth. Okay, so now he knows that nothing he was sold in terms of the target was even remotely true, that in fact it was the truth of the opposite, in the opposite direction. The very ones that he was in partnership with. Okay. So now these people that are angry, okay, because it's like some footmen, there are footmen that are angry. Outside of the women he could have slept with or whatever, it's this footmen that are angry, and these are the ones that are still keeping on with what they were doing, even though he's not financing, he's not he wants no part of it, he's not going to fund it any further. Okay, so let's get something that's going on with these mofos, because they angry. Let's see, let's do this. Okay, what's happening here? These energies that I guess was connected to his part of this, and he's made it clear that he's not financing, and he's shutting her down. His part, his role, his services, his connects, his, he's shutting her down. And so the people that's upset about that, the footmen, okay, yeah, they're upset about it. I got High Priestess reverse, 5 of Pentacles reverse, 8 of Wands reverse, and Hierophant. Yeah, so they're upset that this has been blown out of the water, exposed. This money, they're trying to figure out a way, they're still trying to figure out a way of how to, still get some money. But they're upset about it. 10 of Wands is in the reverse. They feel like he has the sudden case of the humanities, human consciousness or whatever. Queen of Cups and reverse, Page of Wands. And that could be one of them that's upset, and that's immature. Queen of Wands upright. Oh, so they're just figuring out how they can go team up with the hoes. Yeah. I think that, this could be what they did. They could have went to, the queen of whoever. And for some money. Or trying to see if they can get in on that. If they can get in because he, the dude got the sudden case of the humanities. Somebody could have said that. They're mad. Knight of Wands in reverse. They're mad because they're passionate. Whatever they thought they was fixing to just, yeah. Yeah, they mad. And that's why they can keep going. Look, it flipped in a somersault. They're mad. It sure did. Nine of Swords. So they're upset, and they could have just connected with the other leaders to keep going, to see if they can get the job done, which they're not going to be able to, whatever, but okay. King of Pentacles. Yeah, there's some greedy fat fuck over here. Trying to find another opportunity. 4 of Cups. This fat fuck. They're upset. This is not wish fulfillment to, these plans to be stopped. I think the person could have said maybe they don't have the money to give. I think they could have went, oh, okay. Because I'm like, shoot, you should have been happy if you was just able to go to the other bed. Shit, what you complaining about? So I think it's just that they don't have the same kind of, they can't offer the same, maybe in the end, if all, but they can't do whatever home dude was doing. So I think that's why they're mad. I got 9 of Cups reverse, the 4 of Cups, the opportunity that they had in the reverse, 7 of Pentacles reverse. Yeah, the plans, the investments. Yeah, Ace of Swords is in the reverse. There's truth and clarity. They could have been told, ooh, 10 of Swords. Yeah, homeboy is going, he's got truth and clarity, and he's going to whistleblow or say something, and he's going to make the choice to be honest, and we don't have, he's making a choice here to close it. There it is, the world, to close it out. We don't have, yeah, so this is why, it makes sense. This is why they're mad. Now it's making sense, yeah, so we have to let this go. We don't have the finances. 4 of Pentacles, the resources and finances that he has in the reverse. We don't have any control or power over that. We only have the, kind of like, yeah. But they could have said something, but the truth, I mean, you can keep going. You can still be abusive. King of Wands in the reverse. we ain't got, if you want something fronted, that, yeah, Emperor. Hermit reverse. Yeah, they're upset because, yeah. Oh, also, there's authorities that know something. So they could have communicated like, hey, look, well, it's at your risk. We don't have what he has, so shit is alerted. Certain authorities, none is alerted, so you might want to reconsider Knight of Swords reverse, Sun upright, because you might regret it. 5 of Cups. But instead, you might go to jail. You might end up going to jail. Hangman. You can keep at it. You can keep at it. You can keep at it. Just so you know, we can't bail you out. Just so you know, we don't have that kind of power and control over this situation. Just so you know, they may scapegoat you and you may go to jail. So they just got mad, though. Anyway, it was like, I'm not learning my lesson. Page of Swords in reverse. I'm gonna keep trying to enter her 8 of Swords. I'm gonna keep trying to slow her down. I'm gonna keep, until I get my way. I'm gonna keep trying to get her attention. I'm gonna keep trying to, I'm gonna keep trying to slow her down. Yep, but her and her kid, I'm gonna keep trying to throw her off of balance. Her and her kid. I don't know that this is foolish though. I'm gonna keep trying the Fool in reverse. I'm gonna keep trying her patience. This person could have decided they're just gonna get, some partners on their own to do it. You know, their own siblings, their lovers, their friends. That's what they could have decided. I'm just gonna get my own siblings, friends, lovers. Yeah. Wow. All right, well, that's, you know, that's what they're doing. That's what happened. Hmm. From emotions, what's going to happen with these individuals, whether they see it coming or not. The ones that's insisted on continuing because they're upset about this. I have confused reverse. Excited reversed. Silly reversed. Sad upright. What's end up happening to them? They're going to end up grouchy and irritable, nervous. These are all the things that they are basically going to be trying to do to you anyway. So I find it fascinating like that. This is how they're going to end up. Glad is in the reverse. So something could, you know, it could be that kind of vibe where, you know how you get a high initially off of something? Where it's like, I'm going to do something anyway. And you get the thrill, that adrenaline hit, the adrenaline rush. And you just get the high off of, I'm doing it anyway. I'm doing it. I know that I'm still somehow bothering you, even if it's not much, you know. But it's going to turn into, it's going to be short-lived. It's going to like go flat. Unhappy. Yeah, that's where it's going, and it's an epic fail. Trying to make you fail. I have A+ going into the reverse. Pleased is going into the reverse. That's where it's going to end. So it may have like a temporary thrill and high for some of them. And then it's going to like kind of morph into everything that they're trying to create for the target on themselves. Okay. What's the judgment that's on them? Finally, there's judgment. There's judgment on a lot of people, but I know that there's special judgment here for the ones that are persisting here. What's the judgment that's on them? That ain't gonna budge. What's the judgment? These individuals, whether they see it or not yet. Oh, yep, fucking with the Empress. Yep. For copying her, for trying to fuck with her labor. Their shit is going to end up in some kind of fruitless labor. Like all of this is going to end up in vain. The person could be 30 years old. Dangerous writing. So this also has to do with whatever, you know, the things that they've been writing, and all of that is something that's going to manifest onto them. Yeah. So the spell work, alchemy and transformation, going into reverse, and they're not going to be able to get out of it. For trying to do some weird, dangerous writings. For trying to do some kind of weird contracts and dominations or curses, whatever that is. Yeah, it's what they did to a disabled person. So disability and immorality. So whatever they've been doing to try to disable the collective and what they were doing to a disabled person, then they are about to reap this disability for their immorality. They're going to end up ghosted and isolated. And it's also for what they've done to the collective what they secretly are plotting and planning, and what they, you know, what they do in secret that they think nobody don't know and don't see. Trying to disable the collective. Trying to cause unrest. They're about to read a little bit of that. A political authority that continues to persist, you know, malevolent behavior. Yeah. They're about to reap some malevolent behavior. They may get kicked out for violating a disabled person. They may lose their... for what they did to a disabled person on a mental illness. Yeah, this criminal enterprise, the whole enterprise that persists here, because they're attacking somebody that was eloquent. This is about to come out. How they were violating, you know, trying to affect the protection of a disabled person. This immoral, malevolent behavior. Because of their pride. Somebody finna use their career in this bitch. Somebody finna lose a license and their practice in this bitch. Somebody is fencing to lose it because they persist. They're about to, this famine and sickness that they have been trying to co-create onto the collective is theirs. They're not going to be able to get out of it. Out of their pride, trying to create famine and sickness for somebody that's supposed to be protected under the Americans of Disability Act. This is what arrogance and pride, they always self-destruct. They always do. Fanaticals, yeah. Some of these radicals are fanaticals. Fanatical belief and hypocrisy. And this may very well happen right when they think they got a new beginning. Right when they think they got a new beginning, right when they think they've been victorious with that manipulation, that's when it's going to go down. And they may end up in suicide because what they're trying to do is create such despair for the targets and their children. That's what they're trying to manifest, and they're going to manifest it onto their own dumb ass. Bye.